Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're doing good. Man, we're about to get a snowstorm up here. So I think they're calling for like 4 to 6 inches, and the snow's going from like Arkansas all the way up into the northern Appalachian Mountains and stuff like that, up into northern Virginia and stuff. So, but yeah, we're going to get a pretty good snowstorm, and more than likely this will probably be the only snowstorm or good snowstorm that we get this year. We got one good one last year. This will probably be the only good one we get this year. But anyway, guys, on with the Summer Wells video. Had a lot of people asking about the Summer Wells case lately. I know I've gotten a lot of new subscribers just here recently. Don't know where that's coming from, but a lot of people are asking questions about the Summer Wells case. So I figured I would try to answer them the best I could. So I wrote a few down here that people have asked in the comment section, and they've emailed me and asked me. First one being, why did Dawn and Candus lose custody of their kids? I don't really know why they lost custody of their kids. I know that they were taken shortly before Summer went missing, or shortly after Summer went missing. My guess is they lost their children to DCS because DCS normally they have you do a reunification plan, and in my opinion, more than likely they just did not complete. They didn't do the reunification plan, or didn't do it all the way. And unfortunately, in the end, Dawn and Candus lost custody of their kids. So my guess is they just didn't do what DCS asked of them, and they had over 2 years to do it. They must have gave them over 2 years to do it. And you would think, even 1 year would be enough time, but on the 3rd anniversary of Summer being missing, the news done an interview with Dawn and Candus, and that's when they come out and officially told the public that they did lose the kids to DCS. So there's somewhat of an answer to that. One of the things that sticks out to me in the whole process of Dawn and Candus, being in the process of getting their kids back, we had a lot of people. Well, Dawn and Candus did not have a lot of people in their corner. And I think the reason Dawn and Candus didn't have a lot of people in their corner, as far as the public and support goes, is because after losing the boys, they were seen on YouTube multiple times arguing, fighting, and it looked like they were intoxicated. And I'm sure if we seen that, DCS seen it, right? So, at the time, Dawn and Candus were supposed to be working on their reunification plan, and a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but again, some people in their corner, they didn't have a lot, but some people in their corner said they were working on it and trying to get their kids back, and being on YouTube told a totally different story. It just seemed like, okay, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing to get their kids back, at least not on YouTube anyway, because like I said, on YouTube on numerous occasions they were arguing, fighting, and just being belligerent, possibly very intoxicated, you know what I mean? Again, after the boys got taken out of the household, they had this, obviously, a reunification plan that they had to do with DCS. And it didn't also help that Dawn, and this was on YouTube too, guys, this was on YouTube too, Dawn got pulled over for DUI and went to jail It was on YouTube. He was going to the store for cigarettes or something and was streaming. And he said, I have to go. I'm getting pulled over. And next thing we know, Don's got a court. We know he's in jail for DUI, but then ultimately he had a court date for it. And he had to do like, what, 11/29, something like that. Anyway, he had to do like around a year in jail for it. But they were supposed to be working on getting the kids back. But Don was working on trying to stay out of jail and they were drinking. He DUI, intoxicated. And, can you imagine? Can you imagine being a DCA? Can you imagine being the caseworker for Don and Candus, and you get notified that Don is in jail for DUI while they're supposed to be trying to get their kids back? But again, they gave them 2 years. I do think that they, with Don going to jail for the DUI, I do think DCS said, you know what, this is a setback. A big setback, but we can get through it. If you straighten up, this is something that you can get through. Put it behind you, and we'll just try to keep moving along and making progress. And apparently, it didn't work. Ultimately, Don and Candus just ended up losing the kids. It just seemed like on YouTube they didn't care. It just seemed like they really didn't care, and it didn't seem like they wanted to try to get the kids back. Now, that's just my opinion. That's based off me watching all these YouTube videos and these interviews. Don was on there cussing the YouTuber out multiple times, different YouTubers. Just out of control, guys. Another question I get is, people keep asking, how do Don and Candus sleep at night knowing they chose possibly drugs and alcohol over their kids? And that's a tough question to answer. Addiction can be a very powerful thing. I've known of drug addicts to, look at Leilani Simon. All you've got to do is look at Leilani Simon, guys. Look how bad that ended up. Now, we don't know exactly what happened to Summer. We can speculate all we want to, but something happened. Something happened when Candus got back to that house, and we do not know what that is. We do know there was a history of drug and alcohol abuse in that home and domestic. Was it related to, did Summer's disappearance, is that related to some kind of, drug use, alcohol, both drug and alcohol use? Is it that plus the domestic issue? Was it just a domestic issue? And, it's like, oh crap. I got to get rid of her now. Did they leave the kids unattended and someone took Summer? I don't know. Now, I do have to say this. I'd have to go back and find it, guys, but there was a video that Voices Behind the Walls done with Dawn, interview that Voices Behind the Walls done with Dawn. And she asked him, do you think that you will ultimately be the one to get in trouble for what happened to Summer? And he told her, I think I will, even though I'm not the guilty. I'm not the guilty one that, I'm not the guilty one that done it, basically. And So we were left in that interview and share Voices Behind the Walls was like, well, I mean, if he's saying that he's going to ultimately be the one responsible and brought down for this, but he's saying he's not the one that done anything, who done it, right? And again, this is coming from Don Wells, someone who is saying that, you know, DCS kidnapped his kids. And if you guys have missed that, if you missed the part where Don Wells on the news said that DCS kidnapped his kids, if you missed that, let me play it for you here.
We were stripped away from all our kids. All our kids have been kidnapped from us by DCS. And
all right, so there's Don saying that DCS kidnapped his kids. Said he don't know about Summer, but so by Don telling Voices Behind the Walls that he thinks that he'll go down for this, but he's not the one responsible for it, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Who knows what happened? We still have not factually been confirmed. It's not been confirmed factually that Don was at work all day. In fact, there was, you know, some text messages put out there where Candus had been talking to someone, and I guess she said that Don was home. He had come home later that afternoon and went back to work. And apparently Candus did not want that getting out, but someone spilt the beans, and they showed the text messages of Candus fussing at him for saying it. So, you know, in my opinion, if Don was home after Candus got back from running around town with Grandis, he may have very well played a part in Summer's disappearance, right? Yeah, Don had some pretty harsh statements regarding DCS, but at the end of the day, I'm sure DCS hears this stuff a lot from other junkies. You know what I mean? So that's basically some of the questions I've gotten from people, I guess, that are maybe new to the Summer Wells case. Maybe I'll do a longer video from, you know, the beginning to end, and I'll actually go to Hawkins County and get some video footage and put that in there. I guess kind of like a little mini documentary up until where we're at today with the case pretty much almost at a standstill while they're building it to get a prosecution. You know, it's very hard to, but they did pull it off in the Joe Clyde Daniels case. Tennessee did pull that one off and got a prosecution in the Joe Clyde Daniels case. Will that happen in the Summer Wells case if they never find her? So, a lot of things, a lot of unanswered questions. Justice still yet has to be served for Summer. Will it ever come? Makes you wonder. But anyway, guys, that's what I've got for you. Hope that answers some of your questions, some of you newbies to the case. And again, thanks everybody for being new subscribers. Appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the channel. Hope you enjoy the channel. Don't know where you come from, where you heard about the channel, but appreciate having you. I'll put some more Summer Wells stuff up here, and you can always go back, guys. If you're new to the case, I got plenty of videos about the Summer Wells case. You can go back and watch. It helps the channel too. And you know, if you want to watch the videos all the way through, that also helps. It's a free way to help the channel. Watch the videos all the way through. It's a free way to help. So anyway, guys, drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. I mean, in your opinion, do you think Don and Candus just ultimately lost the kids because they didn't do what DCS asked of them? Do you think DCS gave them plenty of time? I think they gave them over 2 years to do it. I don't know the exact date of the termination of rights, but in my opinion, I think it was around 2 years. And 2 years should be plenty of time to get your act together and try to get your kids back. What do you think about Don getting on here on the news and blaming DCS for kidnapping his kids? Pretty harsh, guys. Pretty harsh. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate you for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next video.